Do you think Principal Nova is an idiot? Because I do. She seems real dumb. Hello, and welcome back to Goblin Literature. Today my name is Megan. Today we are talking about the Zodiac Academy. I just finished chapter 5 of book 3, The Reckoning. So there will be spoilers in this video for everything up through the end of chapter 5 of book 3, The Reckoning. Let's get into it. So major plot points, obviously the end of book 2 is crazy with all the nymph attack. I thought that there would be like a serious lockdown of the school, things would be changing. It sounds like they're just kind of like doing a lockdown, but like business as usual, really. It's not a real lockdown. Immediately we start off with Orion wondering, I think we get his point of view first. He like goes back to his little weird house and takes a little nap. Fair enough. And he immediately is like, why weren't we more prepared? Yeah, that's what I said in the last video. Why weren't they more prepared? Why? Sir, I would like to know too. You work here. I don't work here. You work here. You tell me. What are you doing? We don't know. We don't know what he's doing. So they have an assembly at midnight to go over, I guess, the attack. What a dumbass time to have an assembly. Like, what do you mean an assembly at midnight? These freaking nymphs are coming out in the dark and you're gonna have an assembly at midnight? Like, these people are just wildly irresponsible. What is wrong with them? Do you think Principal Nova is an idiot? Because I do. She seems real dumb. And not that we want to criticize women in positions of power, because we love that for her, but she's dumb. Like, there's nothing I can do if she's dumb. It's not my fault. It's her fault for being a dummy. Get smarter. Use your brain. Open your brain up and use it. I don't know what you're doing. And then Francesca shows up to Orion's little, I am imagining just like this like sad little townhouse. He lives like right next door to like Washer. Creep. So like I'm just imagining that it's like a depressing place because he lives next door to Washer. Blech. She shows up, she's like, I'm just gonna stay here. Like, it seems like they're very comfortable, which it kind of seemed like before, but now we're sure of it. They're very comfortable. He says they're nebula allies, which is one of the types of like bonds you can have. Like you can be like nebula allies, you can be some sort of mates, or you could be like arch nemesis. Those aren't the technical terms. But yeah, they're nebula allies, but they're not like mates, but it seems like they like bang sometimes for convenience, which is fair. He kind of kicks her out because I think he feels guilty because he likes Darcy. So he's like, bye-bye. And she's like, but I need to see your memories. And he's like, no, thank you. Not today. And so she leaves. It's kind of awkward, honestly. Like, a little bit awkward. During the assembly, Orion's like basically not paying attention, I assume, because I don't remember anything from the assembly other than he like left and that they're on like lockdown and everything's back to normal, which is an interesting choice. So Darius and Orion sneak off. Like, how does nobody notice some of this shit? Like, come on, guys. I guess Principal Nova's an idiot, so that's why she doesn't notice. So maybe that's why she's so dumb, so that they can just do these antics. They can be up to their antics. So they sneak off, and really all I got from that was Orion saying curfew could present issues for your training. So we know they're training. Training what? We don't know. Training how? We don't know. But we know that it's secret and suspicious. So I assume they're training to kill Lionel because he sucks. Whiny Liney. We hate him. And by we, I assume everyone. I don't know how you could not hate him. I mean, if you don't hate him, that's like, I would love to hear that because the dude is the worst. So, and then basically Orion is like, the FIB are sus. Which, yeah, I agree. They're up to something. What? We don't know. Something. That's for sure. Then we find out about this, like, Hell Week. So basically you're at war, but then you're also having a Hell Week, and the Reckoning's on as scheduled. The other thing I want to mention is that this book is called The Reckoning. So are you trying to tell me that this whole book is The Reckoning? Or like that it, I assume it ends with The Reckoning. The Reckoning is 1 week away from the beginning of the book. So basically this several 100-page book is 1 week of time. Which brings us back to my main complaint about the series. The pacing of it is weird. So I'm trying to understand how this many pages of a book, a thick boy book, could possibly be 1 week of time. I mean, I guess if you count, I don't know how long The Reckoning itself is. So if maybe it's, I don't know. That's my only complaint, but it continues to come up. So I'm telling you. So they have Hell Week. Everyone's kind of like acting crazy and like being a creep and like dressing up super weird and like creeping on people and whatnot. This jerk Gustav Velpecula writes another article. He already wrote one at the end of last book about Tori and Darcy being a disaster. He says Tori's a whore. Hoary Tori. And then, he doesn't say that, but basically that's what he says. And then that Darcy's nuts and she's got like a raven following her around, which is kind of funny. But wrong. So in his new article, he's like, yo, the Vegas almost lost this battle for us because they're total disasters, which was wildly incorrect based on the points of view that we read at the end of a book 2. So he is a terrible journalist. His journalism's horrible. He is the fake news media. That's what Gustav Velpecula. They should just call him Fake News Gustav. He's a horrible journalist, and he should be fired immediately. I would fire him. So, rumors are swirling about Tori and Darcy being dragons. I thought that would be too obvious because of the fire, but that's what everyone thinks. Rumors, and then Orion says that they're special extinct dragons, he thinks, is Minion dragons, and they have super powerful fire, and they're super gigundo, and they can kill people with their breath. I'm wondering if this is a misleader. I feel like it just like went from nothing to, oh, they're dragons very quickly. Darius also mentions if they're dragons, his dad's gonna kill them because if they're this kind of dragon, they're super powerful. Would be cool if they were humongous and ate whiny liney. I would be into that. Ass Club has 100 new members because the girls did such a great job at fighting the hooligans at the battle. The battle of the, why can't I remember the name of these freaking things? The stupid doohickey guys that attacked them. I'm just like brain failing. So let's figure it out. So the nymphs, that's what it is. The nymphs. The nymphs. I hate them. I don't know why I couldn't remember the word for nymphs, but I couldn't because apparently I'm having a mental deficiency. So I apologize about that. Nymphs. That's where we take notes. Nymphs. Nymphadora. So the rumor mill, the girls are dragons. Allegedly. We're gonna find out for sure. Hopefully someday. I don't buy it. But it's possible. It's possible they're super powerful dragons and that they're gonna eat whiny liney. So that would be great. So Caleb and Tori are still doing their weird chase around the block to get feeding and then catch me if you can. Like, they're, ugh. I don't know, it's kind of hot, but it's also kind of like mid. It's like, and then he wants to keep the two sides of the relationship separate, which, like, I am a good compartmentalizer. I get it. I can compartmentalize things like business, friendship, like they're separate. However, at some point, it's personal. So, like, if someone at your business is also your friend and the business person isn't ever doing their job and making your job way harder, is that your friend? Because they're not helping you when they should be. That's a bad friend. This is like that on crack, because they're actively trying to kill these girls. Maybe not, I mean, the one time they tried to kill Tori when she was underwater. So the heirs are actively trying to inflict harm. They're not just being negligently bad at their jobs, like my example, where they're just making their lives a little harder. They're like actively attacking them and doing horrible things. How can you keep those two things separate? That's psychotic. That is a dissociation. You would have to have multiple personalities. You would have to dissociate your personalities into separate people in, like, some of our favorite movies and shows and books. In order to be able to do that, there would have to be like Tori and then like Rory. And Rory is Caleb's girlfriend-ish. And Tori is Caleb's arch nemesis. You can't be someone's girlfriend and their arch nemesis. Like, what are you, insane? I get that the Fae like have some weird stuff and some weird relationship dynamics, and they've got their little hierarchies and their little weird animalistic rules and their you know, whatever, but like, let's get frickin' real. Be so for real. You can't just do that. This is too extreme. Okay, this isn't like, okay, like we're on two different sports teams. Like, you're one sports team fan, I'm the other sports team fan, so we can like talk shit to each other about our sports teams, but then we're friends at the end of the day. This is like you're actively trying to murder me or at least cause me a lot of physical harm and trauma, but then we're gonna make out afterwards. No. And it's Delulu that he thinks that's an option. However, she also still is hooking up with him, so maybe she's insane. I can't even blame her for that. Women have to support women, whether they're making good or bad decisions. We support, except Principal Nova, because she's not making a decision, she's just actively worthless. So, you know, there's only so much you can do. So, on top of that, we've also got Darcy and Orion and their inappropriate woods flirting. So, they go out in the woods, they're like, you know, messing around with their powers and like sparring-ish kind of. And then they like kind of almost make out, and then Darcy, like a responsible adult, says like, I need a new liaison because like this is inappropriate. It is. You're right. Orion says, what if I don't want to? What if I don't want it to stop? Sir. Inappropriate. But hot. So I'm not... In real life, I would be disappointed. In book life, I'm into it. You know? We all have to be a little bit toxic, okay? And that's why we read books like this. I don't know what to tell you. So, that's kind of where we leave off, is Orion messages Darcy, what if I don't want it to stop? Okay, fine. I'll allow it. So, I mean, a lot is going on because I feel like the beginning, they like throw a lot into the first few chapters, and then the last two books at the end, it was like, you just kind of fly through the end and you read like 12 chapters at once. Also look at my shirt. It says Booktuber. You're welcome. I just wanted to let everyone know. It's a cool shirt. So, awards for these chapters. Number 1, Captain Obvious. Lance Orion. He is Captain Obvious because, first of all, he said, why weren't we ready? Yes, sir. Yes, obviously correct. Captain Obvious. The other reason is because he's just like sneaking around with everyone, and he's not even that secretive about it. He's just wandering off with Darius. He's wandering into the woods with Darcy. Like, are you an idiot? Captain Obvious. Like, what's he doing? He's going to get in trouble. He obviously doesn't give a shit about his career. He might as well just give up. And I don't know what, like, less fancy career would be in the Fae world. I assume he could just probably be one of the servants at Crux Manor, because it seems like they don't treat their servants very well. It seems like that is probably the type of job he will be receiving when he's fired imminently. If this were real life, this is a book, so I assume he probably is not going to get fired. But if this were real life, he totally would, and there would be a lot of news articles, hopefully not written by Gustav Velpecula, about it. Also, a plot point that we need to cover in order for the second award to be relevant is the Diego hat situation. His hat is stolen. They're trying to steal it back. It's a whole thing. It's a disaster. Sad Boy Summer Award goes to Diego. The dude kind of is a little bit pathetic. I don't know what's going on with him. He seems sweet. I like him, but he is pathetic all the time. It's really sweet that he loved his abuela. He's got, her little trinkets. It's nice. But he just, the more I read about Diego, like Diego started up here, and then we've got, Geraldine down here. And as the books have gone on, the graph has gone, shoo. Geraldine is up here and Diego is down here now. Diego is whiny. He is a sad boy. And I assume it's summertime. I just decided it's Sad Boy Summer. So, we need him to pull it together. Okay? He seems like a sweet guy, but we need him to stop being a baby. And hopefully that happens soon, because I don't know what the deal is with him. Up next, Hell Week, which seems like will be like 50% of this entire book. And then maybe the other 50% is the Reckoning, is what I would assume. So what is going to go down? One of my favorite things that happened with the Hell Week situation this time is that Geraldine gave one of the girls, one of the Vegas, I don't remember which one, a Diet Coke instead of a regular Coke. Hilarious. Geraldine, elite character. Also up next, The Reckoning. Obviously, that's what this book is called. We're going to find out how that goes down, I would assume. Also, are the girls dragons? Like I said, I think that's a little bit misleading. I think they're misleading us. Although, the only reason that I'm considering that maybe they're not is because they're not regular dragons. If they had considered that they're just regular dragons, maybe that would be true. That it's misleading. But the fact that they're these super secret extinct dragons gives me pause, because that's more of a in-depth answer situation. But I don't recall seeing this like made up Ismenian dragon anywhere else in any of the order discussions so far. But I could have missed it. But it's like they just like randomly threw this in there almost. Also, does Darcy get a new liaison? I'm going to go ahead and say probably not. This Darcy Orion thing is going to, I feel like, keep on happening. Will they, won't they? Will they, won't they? Keep us on our toes. So that will be some things to look forward to in the rest of this and potentially the following books, because some of this stuff is moving pretty slow. So we may not find out if they're dragons until, who knows. But if we have to finish this book, then read 5 prequels, then find out they're dragons. That is 8 books that we have to read before we find out they're dragons. And this is a good place to mention, I'm following Jamie, That Girl Reads, reading order. That's why we're reading the first 3 Zodiacs and then the prequel series, The Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac. So that's what we have so far. I am excited to keep going. I'm really starting to get into these books. I feel like books that are super long series take a little bit of time to get into, and I feel like that's why a lot of people don't want to read them. They'll be like, I read the first book and I didn't get into it. And it's like, I totally understand that like you shouldn't have to read 10 books to get into a series, and I don't disagree. But if it gets a lot of really good reviews and people are really into it, I feel like it's worth giving it a shot, at least the first few books. And I'm starting to get into it. I am getting into it. I'm getting over the cringiness. I'm starting to like these people, specifically mostly just Geraldine. And I'm really into Orion at this point, really too. So, Darcy and Tori are not horrible. I've definitely hated female main characters before, and I don't hate them. They're fine. They're all right. So yeah. Let me know what your predictions are. Let me know how you feel about Geraldine, particularly. I would love everyone's opinion on her because she is the coolest. And maybe about like some of the other characters. Diego, do you guys think he's whiny? Because I sure do. Will he ever get his hat back? We don't know. I hope not. I hope he gets over it. And then maybe what you think Darius and Orion are training for. What they're up to. Let me know if there's any outstanding questions you have that I didn't cover. If you think the girls are dragons, I would love to hear some debate about their order. I feel like that's something that could get interesting. And in the meantime, enjoy your reading.